Hello, everyone. I've been digitizing like a bat out of hell recently. I bet you didn't know that bats from hell digitize cassettes. But anyway, in the process, occasionally I hit things that just make me laugh. And here are two of them. First, from the long distance preservation.
May I have the number you dialed?
Yes, 534-2675.
You're reaching Boys of Ain.
Yeah.
Are you calling Boys of Ain?
Yes.
And who are you calling?
Harold Griffith.
Harold Griffith?
Right, 1604 North Cruxmire Parkway.
Oh, you're reaching Boys of Ain, Manitoba.
Oh, boys, I thought I was calling Habustery, Aldo Bruster, Alberta.
Oh, no, you must have ended up with the wrong area code.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, come on, man. Everybody knows that the area code for Habustery Aldo Bruster, Alberta is 403. Good thing he gave the operator the Cruxmire Parkway address. That's what tipped her off to the fact that he had actually reached the wrong town. Ben used to make up names like that on the spot, but they tended to sound like Habustery Aldo Bruster. But anyway, Greenville, North Carolina is a place where at home you can be served by an NX1. The polarity reversal on calls, including long distance calls, goes right back to your phone. This is similar to Step by Step. Being at a home phone, I had the ability to hook things into the phone, and I made a relay device that automatically put juice down the phone line anytime the line polarity was normal. It would take the juice off when the line polarity reversed. Now, calling the local time number, anytime the thing was answered and talking, the line polarity was reversed. But as soon as it would hang up, the device would put juice on, and that would re-ring the time number, and it would immediately pick up again. Well, you'll hear.
Here's another one. What this does is, every time the line is in the normal polarity, it juices. And if the line goes into reversed polarity, it takes the juice off until it goes back to normal again. That's all it is. Now, normally our time of day number plays only once, but now I'm going to call the time of day and put it on.
Hello. You'll like the interest First Federal Savings places in your account. Time 8:52. Temperature 83. Hello. You'll like the interest First Federal Savings places in your account. Time 8:52. Temperature 83. Hello. You'll like the interest First Federal Savings places in your account. Time 8:52. Temperature 83. Hello. You'll like the interest First Federal Savings places in your account. Time 8:52. Temperature 83. Hello. You'll like the interest First Federal Savings places in your account. Time 8:53. Temperature 83. Hello. You'll like the interest First Federal Savings places in your account. Time 8:53. Temperature 83. Hello.
I don't know, maybe I have the sense of humor of a 2.5-year-old, but that just gets me. It's just, I think because it's silly and it works. And then the relay, which is there to detect the change in polarity is affected by the juice going out on the line. That turns it into kind of a razzing noise, and then the thing keeps answering. So it keeps.
Hello.
It's so stupid. I don't think I drew a schematic diagram before wiring up the relay, but it would be funny if I had, you know. Oh, what did you do Wednesday night? Oh, well, I designed this cool new relay circuit. Yeah, well, what does it do?
Temperature 83. Hello.
Now, this was 1975, so don't try anything like that now. It'll disable your phone line, and anything you've got connected to it will be ruined, so don't even think about it. Besides, it wouldn't work anyway. But anyway, that's these things made me laugh, so I just thought I'd put that out for now. I've been digitizing very efficiently the undigitized cassettes, which is essential to preserving the library, because otherwise it's just a bunch of cassettes degrading by the day. Everything else I've tried with the phone tapes, though, is still running in slow motion. I'm still having to relearn how to work. Narrating tapes, I had to quit for a little while because basically it's taking me 3 weeks to do something that really needs to be done in a matter of hours. And I have a family, and I have to spend time with the kids and all that, and you know, to be cloistered in my room doing things in slow motion, I'm going to have to wait until I can do things at normal human speed. And but the digitizing of the cassettes, that I'm very efficient with. So that's, just know that's going on. And it's going on tens of times faster than you're seeing raw tapes posted, because the raw tapes I post, I have to review them. I have to make sure they're appropriate to post, whether they really are going to contribute or just bore everyone. Also, there are times when private conversations with people that Ben and I knew are just in the middle of the tape, and I don't want to just publish those without permission, so, you know, there's things like that to consider. I just decided to generate a random number, and the first one that came out was 1065. I know that's one of the Atlanta tapes. Let's see which one it is. Ah, now you see, this is one of the tapes that was made right before Labor Day weekend, 1977. They did something rather unusual. That weekend, they actually replaced 4 step offices at once. And thank goodness I found out about it. But boy, it had me scrambling, because these 4 offices were going to go, and I had not finished recorded any of them. So, one of them was the 5-2 downtown step, which was being used as a tandem throughout the history of Atlanta. But by the time we get to Labor Day 1977, that's not a problem, because the only other 2 offices that use it as a tandem, the 7-5 West End step and the 7-9 Hollywood Road step, were being cut out at that very same time. And just for good measure, they also were cutting over Stone Mountain 469, which amazingly, as late as 1977, was a little 355 step with a single code in it. And boy, that area was expanding exponentially at the time, so they replaced it with a number 1 or even 1A ESS, just like that. That one had to go, just for expansion reasons. Prior to the cutover, they'd already been messing with the central office boundaries just to relieve poor little 469. They took the neighboring offices, I think, and encroached a bit. And when it cut over, they immediately added a second code to Stone Mountain. Interestingly, tape 1065 deals with close-in things. One of the distinctive things about Stone Mountain is that for most metro area calls, you have to dial 7 first, and 7 goes on an N3 family trunk to the Decatur crossbar tandem, and then there are just a few places that you can dial directly, maybe just Stone Mountain and Lithonia, I don't remember, but 1065 is the last part of the local study of 469, which I don't remember that much about. But I'm calling whatever they can dial without a 7 plus. The other tapes of Stone Mountain, most of them, cover dialing 7 plus to reach the rest of the Atlanta area, and it's very nice, classic N3 type carrier. And the Decatur crossbar tandem, dial pulse in like that barely sounds like a crossbar tandem, but it is one. Every now and then you'll get a call that goes through the other crossbar tandem, the one in Ivy Street downtown. But mostly when you go through the Decatur tandem, it has direct trunks. Actually, the best way to hear the Decatur crossbar tandem is from the 2.8 crossbar 5 and the 2.9 ESS, because those both MF'd into it and had wonderful trunks. The typical type where you can hear the outpulsing. But anyway, back to tape 1065. It starts with the last part of the local study of Stone Mountain. Then it goes to the 5-2 step, and mostly it looks like I called things beginning with 5, which would be the 5-2 step, 5-2-9, the telephone company step, which has crossbar ring. If you hear a step with crossbar ring, that's 5-2-9. The 5-7 crossbar 5, which is in Ivy Street, nearby, serving the same downtown area. And then there's a 5-8 ESS. There's a discontinued government Centrex code 526 as well, where I think I get a Jane Barbie recording, which, by the way, turns out to be a conference. And it gets into use during the summer of 1978, actually. Atlanta did not have a lot of crossbar ring. There were no steps except 529 that had it. And then there were like 3 crossbar 5s that had crossbar ring. You had Norcross, the 44, 7, 8, and 9. You had Conyers 922 and 483. And then you had the Marietta crossbar 5, which was also a Centrex for Lockheed, 422 and 424. And that's it. Unless you count the Rockdale building, which had the 4041, the original 4041 4A, the regional center. And then 529, which was the only place in Atlanta where you could hear this. That is what a number 1 step does to crossbar 5 type reorder. That's one of the things it can do. Sometimes it has that washed out sound. The 5-2 step itself had a ring that, very similar to Hempstead. I wouldn't mistake it for Hempstead, but it sometimes had low tone between the rings, and it always had that sort of gluggy quality. Instead of brrr, it's glug, 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 glug. And we actually used to refer to Hempstead as glug because of the gluggy ring, and 5-2 step had that. Ah, man, City Ring. One of the most beautiful parts of the old network. Unbelievable. No two were exactly alike. Just amazing. I did an impromptu fast hum-reduced version of the 5-2 section of tape 1065. It's almost perfect, but there are some artifacts in some of the background noise I'm hearing when I'm talking to the AIS operator, so I'm going to have to do it again before I can put it out on the Evan-Doorbell page, but I'll put it here, the hum-reduced version of tape 1065. Just know that it's temporary because I don't like to induce anything using digital equipment that could not have been on an actual analog tape from 1977, so it's better to leave the hum in than to create some sort of audio abomination that doesn't sound like anything that could have been recorded in 1977. It's better to leave the hum in. But here I'm going to leave it out because the artifacts are few and far between. It's really only where I'm sort of talking to the AIS operator and the background white noise from either the traffic or something. I can hear a little, and just for you guys tonight, I'll put it on. I've only hum reduced the 5-2 part. The Stone Mountain part would take really literally all day, even at my best. And it's not worth it anyway, because what is being recorded on this tape are two dilapidated offices that are going to be replaced, and they're not bothering maintaining them to the usual standards. Stone Mountain 469 and Lithonia 482, which is going to be replaced the next year. They're both 355 steps. There are some trunks to Lithonia that hum like the dickens, and then there are some selectors dropping. Here's an example.
Connected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number or try your call again. I'm sorry.
That's calling from the doomed in a day or two 469 Stone Mountain step to the doomed in a year Lithonia 482 step. They're both 355 steps. Lithonia has coded ringing, so I have to call the single ring, the double ring, the triple ring, the quadruple ring, and the long short pattern ring. It has all of those, and the last digit of the phone number actually determines what pattern you get. The whole office doesn't have that, but certain connector groups do. There may be some calls to the crossbar 5 in Tucker 934, 938, 939. I think that was dialable too, but I don't recall. Apparently on the tape I'm trying to find out. Well, anyway, that's tape 1065. I'm putting a hum reduced, at least for the last part of it, version up there. Let me do one more random number. 732. How about that? 732 is a short tape. It was recorded by a friend of mine who was on a conference. And thank goodness he gave me his old tapes. Otherwise, I would have almost no tapes of this extremely important conference. Now, you know I've lived in Atlanta. I've lived in New York. I lived for a while at a commune in Virginia. I'm going to play you a snippet of this conference that's on tape 732. See if you can guess where this one's located. Here goes.
5167.
You suck. You bite it off. Fuck you.
I'm sorry. All circuits are busy now. Will you try your call again later, please? This is the recording. 5167.
Hello?
That reminds me of a true story. You know, in late 1998, I moved away from New York again. And the funny thing about New York is it presents a certain face to out-of-towners. And I remember I came back to New York on the Amtrak train. And I walked up one of those ancient stairways that actually are so old that they are the same stairways that were there when the old Pennsylvania Station building existed. Walk up to the sorry excuse for a main concourse that they have now, and the very first thing I hear is a guy going, "Hey, fuck you!" First thing, welcome to New York, right? Well, you know, this tape actually begins with that too, but that was while I was living there. This is from 1971. I started this conference, and as it turns out, this is where I met Bill Acker. And hopefully, in a few episodes of the How I Became a Freak series, if I ever get to working other than in slow motion, I can tell you how that came about. But this is the conference where I met Bill Acker. He came into it by accident. He stayed on and started beeping his MFer. And I chimed right in and said, "Oh, well, those are operator tones. How do you do that?" And meanwhile, I was playing recordings of the supervision test. Well, anyway, that's a story I hopefully will tell soon. So that's tape 732. Very short because this is just a leftover recording the guy was making as he was using his cassette machine as an amplifier to broadcast on the conference. April and May 1971 was the time period for this. Well, this little impromptu talk has taken me a darn long time, but not as bad as it would normally be if I had to make a formal production, so enjoy the raw tapes. Did I mention that the Atlanta preservation is entirely posted now, like 99% of it? It's at evan-doorbell.com. Go to Raw Tapes, Atlanta Preservation. There's a tape in the Atlanta Preservation list that doesn't belong there right now. That's okay. It's kind of an interesting tape, but the Atlanta Preservation tapes are out there, and they're actually pretty listen-toable. You know, usually the preservation tapes can bore you because you're just dialing and dialing and dialing and dialing and dialing, but the Atlanta ones, they're pretty listenable as is, I think. Pretty interesting place, but not as interesting as New York. But anyway, that's something I'll get into someday. That's all for now. Thank you, everyone, for listening and for bearing with me. And here's to more good times for us all, and creativity and productivity and all that good stuff for me, too. See you later.